Holiness of God, and then 1985, the book. Now, what's fascinating is he had been thinking through this idea, remember back in 1961, but he'd been thinking through this all through the 60s and 70s. And one of the delightful things we have in our Rare Book Room collection is the library of Dr. Sproul. And so we can go back and sort of trace his steps through the books that he read and the books that influenced him. And one of those books is by this German theologian, Rudolf Otto, The Idea of the Holy, published in German and translated into English. Well, Dr. Sproul devotes a whole chapter to the idea that he got from Otto in this book. The chapter is chapter 4 of the Holiness of God, and he calls it the fearful mystery. Now, I loved that R.C. was an active writer. So he liked to underline. There's often this squiggly line in the side. And I asked him one time what that meant, and he said, well, that's a quote I wanted to pay attention to and maybe use sometime. So he would write a squiggly line. At one point, he's adding his sort of emphasis of what he just learned from this chapter, and there it is, sanctus, right? Holy. And then numinous, this is the idea of the holy that Otto presents in this book. But then Otto turns to what he calls the fearful mystery, or the Latin expression of the mysterium tremendum. Now, mysterium comes into English pretty nicely, right? Mysterium, mystery. What do you think tremendum comes into the English as? Can you guess an English word? Tremendous. Now that was totally unfair of me because I totally set you up. But we think tremendous. That's not the right word. Here's the actual English word. Tremor. To shake. To shake before the holy God. Now certainly God is tremendous in his holiness. But the Latin expression is the mystery that makes us shake. Now, as R.C., and he quotes Otto extensively in chapter 4, there it is, the big block quote of Otto's discussion of the fearful mystery. And then R.C. says this, Otto spoke of the tremendum, awfulness, as in full of awe, the awfulness, because of the fear the holy provokes in us. The holy fills us with a kind of dread. We use expressions like, my blood ran icy cold, or my flesh crept. But we can go back in and retrace the steps and see the study